Little video to show everyone out there in YouTube land how my oil stove works. It is a waste oil stove. I made it myself. Got some ideas off YouTube. Kind of use those to make my own version. But the stove itself is actually an old Campbell Hospital air compressor tank. We just compressor blew up, we cut it off, just used the tank. I've used this stove for about 3 years now. It originally started out as a drip feed, and I set it up with a drip feed with a 1/4-inch line dripping into it. Didn't like it, so I redid it and had a drip feed. It had a big piece of exhaust tube that dripped into the exhaust tube, and it worked good as well, but it still wasn't very easy to control. So this year I bought a Siphon nozzle, put in the side of it. See it right there, and it's just kind of laying in there right now, temporary. This is the best way I found for it to work. Had a lot of trouble with it stopping up, and the burner tube would stop up. Well, this right there, what you see sticking out of the stove, is all there is out here, and there's only maybe that much on the inside. But I'll show you my setup that I have. This is my oil holding tank. It's an old refrigerant tank. It's got a line tapped into it, shut off valve, and 3/8 copper line running down. To that, we've got another shut off, and that rag's there because I got a leak earlier. I need to fix it. The nozzle is a 1/2 gallon per hour. I think it's Delvan nozzle. And it has an air line ran into it with a regulator. It only runs about 2 pounds. I think 2 pounds. You'd have to excuse my mess. I work in this garage for a living, and it's been snowing outside, and every car I bring in melts snow all over everything. It's disgusting. But I'll show you the inside of it while it's burning. It's hot. And I leave my door cracked about right there. It drafts pretty good like that, but you just turn the regulator up and down. To control your flame and how hot it is. Right now, that's about how I leave it running all day, and it's not bad at all in here. It's probably 55 or 60 degrees in here. I have a furnace blower out of a house just to kind of circulate the air around. It's not turned on right now. Got some tubes that are welded all the way through, and that dryer ductwork going up to that kind of helps pull air or pull some heat off of it and distribute it a little bit better. Got my thermometer here just to give you an idea of how hot this thing runs. Here on top, it's about 521, 22. The exhaust, 285, 280. It's not real hot. About the hottest spot on it is down here. If it gets over about 850, it starts beeping. It's pretty hot, and like I said, I use this. This is what I do for a living. I run a garage, and I read a lot of things on YouTube that said you had to use, cut it down with diesel fuel or kerosene, your used oil. This isn't cut down at all. it is, you know, 0W20, 520, 530, 1030, 1040, 2050, 75, 90 gear oil, you know, 75, 140 gear oil, automatic transmission fluid, brake fluid. It probably does have a little bit of gas or kerosene or diesel fuel, something mixed into it. But it's just basically pure oil. Now I do filter it. See my filter set up back here if you can see it. You probably can't see it. Let's open this door. A little light in. But here's one of my drums. I have several more drums outside that have old oil in them. I've got one sitting right there, 1,000 coffee cups sitting on top of it. But I have a tube run into there, back here, and it runs up to this. That's a small block Chevrolet oil filter, and it pushes oil through this line and into that. And that is a remote oil filter off of like a S10 Blazer or something like that. And it comes out, and this is what we put in our jug. And we carry it in there and dump it in our holding tank. And the reason I have to do that is because this stuff has metal and junk and all kinds of garbage in it. And it has to be filtered out because that siphon nozzle, it just, if anything, the least little thing will stop it up. But this is my setup. This is what I found that works best for me. The main trouble I had with it when I first got it was my oil wasn't filtered good enough, and it kept stopping up and kept stopping up. And then once I got that problem cured, see if I can shut this off and show you the inside what it looks like. Shut her down. But it puts out a lot of just carbon and junk. You can see it built up right there, that black. And another problem I had was the tube. You can see right there's all that's sticking out of the inside. But it would clog the tube up after just a day or two of running. And this is about my final setup. It seems to work good. Right there is a rear differential cover off of a 2002 Chevy Silverado. Kind of oil bounces off it when we turn it back on. It circulates the heat in there pretty good. See it swirling. But yeah, and I don't recommend this in your house or nothing, and you don't want to leave it sitting by itself for too long, or you get way too much oil in it if you're not careful. This setup, I've got pretty comfortable with it. I have left it by itself running without me watching it for up to probably an hour at a time. But anytime you're messing with this stuff, it can get real sketchy real quick. You got to be careful. It's got a spark plug in the top of it. That's actually where my drip feed line used to be. The hole just happened to be the size of a spark plug, so we stuck a spark plug in it. A lot of people come in here and say, "What's that spark plug for?" Well, that's what lights it. But yeah, it's got a damper on it. We don't really use that. I used that whenever I had the drip feed on it. It was part to help control it. But that's my setup, and if you all have any questions, feel free to comment, or see something you don't like, feel free to comment that too. But we'll see you later.